If you're completely over the people you work with and don't know what to do, this is the video for you. Hi everyone, my name is Brittany Hayles and I'm the career coach that gives you the confidence to go after what you want. If you're dealing with an annoying coworker, unfortunately, you're not alone. And because we realistically just cannot up and leave every time things get tough or every time we don't like our coworkers, we have to come up with alternatives on how to deal with them. So today's video, I'm gonna be walking you through 5 things you can do to start dealing with this person today, and make sure you watch all the way to the end of this video so that you can figure out which solution is best for you. But before we even get started, if you are on the journey of growing your career, changing your career, whatever it may be, this is the channel for you, so go ahead and click that subscribe button down below. Let's get started. So the first tip is to provide your coworker with feedback privately. So believe it or not, there are people in this world, your coworker might be one of them, who genuinely have no idea how annoying they are, how rude they are, how crazy they are. Like, they are just not self-aware. So giving them feedback privately is the best thing to do because they probably have never received it. And the reason why I say feedback instead of confront is because feedback is you're doing that with the intention that you're creating a conversation versus just trying to let somebody know everything that they're doing wrong. And before you even, implement this tip, ask yourself, is this situation warranted of giving feedback? Like, is this really gonna bother me tomorrow or next week or next year even? Sometimes, things fluster us in the moment and then we get over them pretty quickly. And that is not necessarily always worth giving someone feedback about because it's just brushed under. But if they're consistently driving you crazy, not allowing you to do your work, gossiping, and just being really, really annoying, and it's affecting your day-to-day or your mental health, like, please, by all means, give them this feedback. And before you even give this person the feedback, think about and plan ahead of time what you're going to say to them. Even think about where you're gonna give them the feedback. If you know it's gonna be private, may not be something that you want to do in the middle of the office kitchen. Maybe it's something that you want to do in a meeting and set up one-on-one time with them. And one of the biggest tips I have is make sure that when you're approaching them when you're calm. If a heated situation just happened, I wouldn't recommend giving that feedback right away in that moment because you may be doing it in the heat of the moment. It may not be as clear or as concise as you would like, or you may even regret some of the things you say because you're angry and you're frustrated, versus just waiting till you're calm, letting things boil down so that you can approach this person from a place of facts versus just solely off emotion. You also want to be very detailed with what's bothering you that they're doing. It's very easy to be vague and be like, you made me feel this way or that way. No. Be very detailed. Even provide them with an example of what they did that you didn't like and would like for them to stop doing. And the very last tip that I have is to give them the space to respond. Again, if I wanted to say confront, I would have said confront, but we all know what that word entails, right? So feedback is giving them the opportunity to let you know why they may be behaving this way, or to let you know that, oh my God, I didn't even know I was doing that. I'm so sorry. Now, I would be amiss if I didn't let you know or keep it real with y'all. Be prepared for the fact that they are going to be defensive or possibly even emotional. The average person can receive feedback, but not everybody likes feedback. And again, if you are dealing with someone who is very close to delusional, they don't even have the sense of self-awareness to know that their personality or what they're doing in the office may be extremely irritating. So just get ready for them to possibly be defensive and emotional. But do not let this stop you from letting this person know why they're bothering you in detail, what they've done to you, so that they never do it again. The second thing you can do is to set boundaries and stick to them. Let's say this idea of giving feedback is just not something you feel comfortable with. That's totally fine. The average person struggles with giving feedback, myself included. However, there are many ways in which you can set boundaries to either separate yourself from that person physically, emotionally, or visually. Some of the ways in which you can do this are to literally move your desk to another location, to even have your desk in a way where you're not facing that person. Put on noise canceling headphones if you have to. Speak to your manager about the fact that, for whatever reason, you don't have to go into extreme detail, but you say to them, hey, This other space in the office is looking really good. I think I would be a lot more productive over there. Is it cool if I move over there? Setting these type of physical boundaries and sticking to them allows you space between yourself and the person that is driving you absolutely insane in the office. If you have to, y'all go to lunch at different times. You know they go to lunch at 2, you go at 1. Like, think of ways in which you can avoid them at all costs. And let's say that you did give the person feedback, and for whatever reason, they have not taken that feedback into consideration and are still driving you crazy. You need to set those boundaries again. Have that conversation again with them, maybe after 30 or 45 days or 60 days, however long you see that behavior continuing to happen. Reset those boundaries with them, because there are some people who, again, they're not self-aware. So even when they're told that they're doing something that's annoying, they continue to do it. So set them again. And just like in the first tip, be prepared for the fact that this person may be defensive once again. They may be emotional once again. They may push back on your boundaries or not even care about them. You can move to the other side of the room and they find their way over there. You put on the noise canceling headphones, they tap you on your shoulder. When I say stick to them, I mean stick to them. So if you put measures in place to separate yourself or physically, visually, whatever it may be from that person, stick to them, stick to them, stick to them. Tip number 3 is to ignore them and focus on the relationships that matter. Sometimes with an annoying person or a bully or a person who's just absolutely rude or whatever it may be, the best thing that you can do for your peace is to ignore them. Ignore them, ignore them, ignore them. Focus on your work. Focus on building your brand. Focus on building your relationships. A lot of times I'll speak to clients or just friends and family, and they'll let me know about what's going on with them at work with a specific person. And they're so focused on how annoying that their coworker is that they're no longer focusing on work. They're no longer focusing on having a great relationship with their manager. And that's exactly what this person wants for you. A lot of times they're being annoying because they see your success and they see how great you are, and they're trying to throw you off. And if they're throwing you off, then they won. So sometimes it is in your best interest to simply just ignore them. I know that takes a ton of willpower, but like, do what you gotta do to do it. And another intentional way of really ignoring them is to focus on building relationships with people that actually matter. And the relationships that matter at your job are with your manager, your manager's manager, and all the executives within your organization or on your team. Even with your other team members, there's no way well, let me not say there's no way, but the chances of you working at a company or on a team where everybody's annoying, I doubt it. And if that's the case, then maybe the problem is you. Just saying. Because if everyone's annoying to you, I think your expectations are slightly high. But there's always going to be somebody on that team that you connect with, that you could potentially have a great relationship with. So focus on them. Y'all become cool. Y'all, kiki. Y'all share details. Y'all share knowledge. Like, focus on that relationship. But the more you focus on that annoying person, the tougher you're making your situation. So do your best to ignore them if you can. But I also want you to be prepared, because sometimes a bully or annoying person being ignored just adds fuel to their fire, and they get even more rude and they get even more annoying. So you really have to this is like a character building. I'm being really honest. Like, you have to work on building that willpower to let that person not get the best of you. Focus on you, focus on your work, focus on the people that you actually like on your team and on your manager, and use relationship. Tip number 4 is to avoid gossip and stay out of drama. Annoying coworkers, rude coworkers, whoever, they tend to start gossip or gravitate towards gossip, wherever the gossip is, that's where your annoying coworker is going to be, live, and thrive. As much as you try to avoid them, sometimes you get wrapped up in it because you're always sitting next to them or whatever it may be. You don't want any parts of it. And the last tip is to give your coworkers feedback to their manager. Now, similar to the first tip, something you want to do before you even do this is ask yourself, is what happened to me, is this situation as serious as I'm making it to be? Can my work, can my experience go on without having to give this person feedback? If it cannot, do it. Now, believe it or not, I actually seen many cases where approaching the person's manager versus going to HR or some executive tends to be a lot more successful, because their manager is directly responsible for their professional and personal development. And again, you need to plan ahead. Think about certain experiences that happen, and do not rely on emotion when going to their manager. Rely on facts. Go into the code of conduct. Look at your company's rules. Look at things that your company has specifically stated are unacceptable and pull from that. That's the last thing a manager wants to hear because they do not want a lawsuit. So literally look at an example and say, hey, this violates this, and that's why it's a problem for me. And I can't do my work because of it. And I can't sleep at night because of it. But always tie back to the specific principle that that person is violating. Or else, a lot of times people just can't get wrapped up in emotions. They don't know you, they can't feel it. But what they can feel are facts. Now, another thing you want to keep in mind, because I've seen this happen too, when you are going to that person's manager, make sure that it's a manager that you have rapport with. If you and that manager don't really mess with each other, y'all are not cool, they don't know you like that, or you guys don't necessarily like each other, that's probably not the best person to go to. I'm gonna be real honest, because they're already biased towards you, so they may not take what you're saying seriously. So in that case, find another manager or another executive on your team or within your organization who can advocate for you and give this person feedback indirectly. And another thing you want to ask them, if they are able to do this, is to keep your feedback anonymous. Therefore, the person doesn't know who it is, and you can move on with your life. If you're cool with it, you don't have to keep it anonymous. They may want to do a mediation session. Hello, can I talk today? Where they bring y'all two together and try to figure out how you guys can best work together. But if you want to remain anonymous, definitely ask them if that's possible. And before you even begin giving the feedback, ask them if you can remain anonymous, if that matters to you. Now, something you want to be prepared for is that even when you ask to be anonymous, guess what? Sometimes they still say your name. They still say your name. It's happened. I've seen it happen. Not all the time. And you can literally get it in writing, which I recommend doing, like saying, hey, when I provide this feedback about your employee, you promise that I will keep anonymous. If they violate that, you have a case. It is what it is. And another thing you want to keep in mind, anytime you make a complaint or talk about somebody or want to give somebody feedback, it could get escalated. So keep in mind that whatever situation you do let that manager know, they may want to create a mediation session between you and that other person. Maybe depending on how severe it is, they might want to tell HR. Depending on how really severe it is, they may have to call the police. So just keep all of that in mind when you do give feedback to their manager, that it could get escalated and it may not remain anonymous, unfortunately. But like I've said before, I've seen multiple cases where a person told the person's manager and it was way more successful than when they told HR. So if you are considering it, again, plan ahead of time, be as detailed as possible, and connect it back to your code of conduct or rules at your company. And so as we wrap up this video, I want to remind you that work is not supposed to be filled with annoying people. You may have annoying experiences every now and again, but if you're constantly dreading to going into work because you're like, oh my God, I got to see this person again, like they are so annoying, that's not good. So definitely choose one of these 5 solutions that's going to help you and implement that thing today, because we got to get to work. We got to focus on our relationship building. We do not have time for drama. We don't have time for annoying coworkers. If you're dealing with an annoying coworker or annoying work environment or just anything that's less than ideal at work, please let's work together. I am a career coach and would be happy to work with you through what's the best solution for your specific situation. So you can email me at info@haylesconsulting.com or click the link down and below to schedule a one-on-one appointment with yours truly. As usual, thank you all so much again for watching. If this video really resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who's also going through a tough situation at work, send them this video so they can get some idea and feel some comfort that they're not alone and that there are things that they can do. Also, comment down below with any videos you'd like to see next, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.